Hello students, how are you? Welcome to geography class. We have already completed chapter 2 of the Indian physical environment of the NCERT. Today we are going to deal with the chapter 2 of the NCERT, that is structure and physiography. Fine. कैसे इंडिया का structure means how India's structure has been formed, and on the basis of the characteristics of the India's different territories, how we can divide, how we can classify those structures, those things we'll be dealing with. So before going into this second chapter, you should be comprehending the concepts of the plate tectonics, the movement of the plates, the concepts of the plate movements. So those things you will have to be understood by class 11 fundamental of physical geography. Those things you will have to cover first, then only you will have to come to this chapter. So India physical geography, like India, this peninsular part of India has moved, and it has moved far from away from Antarctica to the northern hemisphere, from the southern hemisphere to the northern hemisphere. So you can see India's map. It was resting near Indian Ocean, but earlier this was resting around at this place, which was near to Antarctica. It was very near to the Madagascar also, and Africa, Southern America and Australia. It was very much like the way India and Sri Lanka is there presently. The same way India and Antarctica was there at the same place, means hardly certain nautical miles away. And the same is for the Africa and America, which is separated by Atlantic Ocean presently. So you can see as the plate has moved, India's part has also moved. The Indian Indo-Australian plate has moved, and this Indian plate has strike to the Eurasian plate. And because of that, what are the structures which we can see, and what are the modifications which we can see in today's world also, and million years back also, we will be looking at those things. So India's northern movement of Indian plate is still continuing. Matlab India's this plate is still moving, though it is not visible presently because it has conquered the friction from the Eurasian plate. But because of the continuous force which has been applied by this plate, you can see multiple earthquakes, and somewhere you can also find that certain folding and wrinkles on the surface of the earth are being created and are being formed due to the movement of this Indian plate. It has significant consequences on the physical environment of the Indian subcontinent, as we have told कि Indian subcontinent में क्या क्या चीजें आती हैं. So if we say India का territory everywhere, if you find, then you will say कि it is the mix of the endogenetic plus exogenetic forces. Any structure is the interplay between the exogenetic and exogenic, endo and exogenic forces का interplay होता है दोनों के बीच का, है ना. Somewhere it might happen कि endo is working more than exo, and sometimes it happens कि exo is working more than endo. We already know the forces which are coming from inside of the earth is endo, and the forces which are operating on outside of the earth is exogenic force or exogenetic force. ठीक है. So based on the variation, its geological structure and the formation, India can be divided into multiple divisions. The three major divisions which we can see in the present world: one is the peninsular block of India, means this part which we can say. Second one is the Himalayan part of India, and third one is the Indo-Gangetic plain. ठीक है ना, Indo-Gangetic plain. So it is the Gangetic plain. So you will have to include this part also of the Punjab and Haryana, isn't it? Indo-Gangetic plain. And not only this, it is also the Brahmaputra plain. So also you will have to include this Assam part also, isn't it? So you can see these are the plains which are separated or which are different from the structure which are there present on the Himalayas and which are present on the peninsular India. Though we can have further subdivisions also, but it is based on the basis of the genesis, how it has been formed, उसके basis पे हम लोग ने classify किया है. तो peninsular block का क्या खासियत है? What is the importance of the peninsular block? तो it starts from the Kutch. यहाँ पे जो हम लोग इसे बनाएंगे ना, तो यहाँ पे जो कच्छ है ना, फ्रॉम द कच्छ ऑन द वेस्टर्न फ्लैंक ऑफ द अरावली, ये अरावली को अगर बना देते हैं तो अरावली का वेस्टर्न पार्ट, देन अपोजिट ऊपर साइड में यहाँ पे दिल्ली रीजन, देन इट इज सेइंग इट इज रफली पैरेलल टू द यमुना एंड गंगा, सो इट इज रफली पैरेलल टू यमुना एंड गंगा, देन इट इज सेइंग इट इज राजमहल हिल्स, यहाँ पे राजमहल हिल्स, ओके, देन इट इज सेइंग गंगा का डेल्टा, तो अप टिल दिस पॉइंट it is peninsular India. So this part is peninsular India. Along with that, one of the offshoot of the Shillong plateau, Meghalaya के पास, this one is the part of this this peninsular India. These two blocks, means this one and this one, is separated by Malda fault. ठीक है, द मालदा फॉल्ट इन वेस्ट बंगाल फ्रॉम छोटा नागपुर प्लेटू, ये जो छोटा नागपुर, ये यहाँ पे जो राजमहल हिल्स दिख रहा है ना, यहीं पे छोटा नागपुर प्लेटू है. आई कैन शो दिस पिक्चर, जस्ट मिनट, यू कैन सी दिस वन हियर, यू कैन सी छोटा नागपुर प्लेटू हियर, और यहाँ पे आई वाज टॉकिंग कि ये मालदा का जो फॉल्ट है, एंड इट इज बीइंग सेपरेटेड, जस्ट मिनट जूम आउट कर लेते हैं, ओके, इट इज बीइंग सेपरेटेड फ्रॉम दिस मालदा फॉल्ट, मीन्स दिस फॉल्ट से ये सेपरेटेड हुआ है, ये राजमहल हिल्स एंड दिस शिलोंग वाला एरिया. सो दिस इज द ऑफशूट पार्ट ऑफ दिस पेनिनसुला इंडिया इटसेल्फ. और ये जितना पार्ट दिख रहा है ना, ये दिस पार्ट इज पेनिनसुलर इंडिया, दिस one is peninsular India. The same thing is written in NCERT. Fine. Okay, so this peninsula is one of the oldest landmass of the earth. ठीक है, means one of the oldest means what you can say, oldest मतलब जब अर्थ का जब फॉर्मेशन हुआ था, अर्थ का इवोल्यूशन हुआ था, फ्रॉम दैट टाइम इटसेल्फ वी कैन से कि उस समय से बना हुआ था पेनिनसुलर इंडिया. So that's why you can see the rocks which are there on the peninsular part of India. Those are having the ages of the Cambrian period. मतलब उस समय का आपके पास उसको ट्रेसेस मिलता है, ठीक है ना. एंड पेनिनसुला हैज बीन स्टैंडिंग लाइक अ रिजिड ब्लॉक with the exceptions of the certain western coast which has been submerged. जो western coast है it has been submerged, जो western coast है, and eastern जो portion है वो emerge किया है. The eastern coast has been emerged. Those things has been written, and it is due to the tectonic activity. Whenever those kind of the things will take place, it is always accompanied by the earthquake. ठीक है ना. And in peninsular part we can find कि certain mountains and hills are there which are too old. Somewhere we can call it relict kind of mountain or residual mountains also, because those are quite older one, like Aravalli hills. It is very much older. Means we can say from the beginning of the earth, from the very formation of the earth, from that time itself, after few million years only, after few million years of the formation of the earth only, Aravalli has been formed. And we can say कि अरावली जो था, जो अरावली जो प्रेजेंटली एग्जिस्ट करता है, that was having the altitude more than Himalayas. ठीक है ना, उतना ज़्यादा हाइट था at that time. Fine. Okay. So as we have understood, this part has been submerged, this part was immersed. ठीक है. And certain hills, Aravalli hills, Nalla Malla hills, this Javadi hills, Velikonda hills, these are also part of this peninsular India. So you can see this Nalla Malla hills here. You can see here at this place Nalla Malla hills is there, isn't it? And here Palkonda, Velikonda is here by only. ये इतने एरिया पे ही those hills are there. ठीक है. Okay. So these are the important hills, like even the Mahendragiri hills, ये उड़ीसा के पास है, those hills are there. ठीक है. Okay. So peninsular part we have understood what are the things which are there, है ना. Second one is the Himalayas. Himalayas का क्या क्या पोर्शन है, ठीक है. So Himalayas is conspicuous by the lofty mountains, peaks, the passes, the V-shaped valleys, rapids, waterfalls, everything is there, which shows the youthful age of the mountain and rivers. Those are present there. And here mainly the endogenic forces are working more as compared to exogenic force. Otherwise Himalayas जो uplift हो रहा है वो uplift नहीं होता. If exogenic force is more, then what will happen? The height of this mountain will keep on reducing. But if endogenic force is working more, then height of those things will be increasing. ठीक है ना? So because of the because Himalayas are being formed because of the India का जो peninsula था, it has hitted to the Eurasian plate. That's why a wrinkles had been formed, and इसके कारण से जो Himalayas का formation हुआ. Fine. So Himalayas are the fold mountain because the folding has been created on the surface of the earth, and it is because of the force which has been applied by the Indo-Australian plate. So these mountains are tectonic in origin because it is due to the movement of the plates. Himalayas have been formed in the multiple phases. The third phase of the Himalayan mountain formed around 64 million years ago itself. Roughly around 250 million years ago, the India का movement जो था है ना बहुत fast हुआ, and from that time continuously around 70-80 million years ago, the formation of Himalayas has started, and you can see still Himalayas is rising. And after the Himalayas has been formed, multiple rivers are being originated from this Himalayas. Let me take another color. Multiple rivers are being originated from this Himalayas because of its snow covered peaks which are there. So those will be melted up, and because of the melting, rivers will be formed, and even we can say the perennial, all time those rivers will be having the water, because on the rainy season, because of the water will be provided by the rainfall, and at the time of summer water will be provided by the melting of the snow. So Himalayan rivers are perennial rivers because of its height, because of its formation, and if rivers are flowing, it will also keep on depositing the sediments, alluvial deposits, sediments will be deposited. So on the foothills of the Himalayas, you can see those kinds of the alluvial soils which are present. So roughly around 1000 to 2000 meter deposition of the alluvial soil is there, and those will be forming the Indo-Gangetic plain. If we can say Gangetic plain, it will be forming. So relief and physiography of India has been greatly influenced by the geological and geomorphological process. Geological process because of the endogenic and exogenic forces we are saying. Fine. So the rough idea you are having ki what are the things which are there in the India's territory, and those things will be seeing in the details. Like if physiography, we will try to understand of India ki what are the physiography of India. So you will have to understand the term physiography. It is an area which is an outcome of the structure, process and stage. Like any structure is the factor, means any structure is having the component of the structure, process and stage. The first thing is that of which structure it has been formed, whether it is having more iron, whether it is having more aluminum, or whether it is having more silica. So if the structure is strong, the landform will resist to be eroded. If the structure is weak, the erosion will be quite easier. Second thing is the process. If rainfall is more, hot and humid climate is more, then erosion will be more, and those erosion will be mainly because of the riverine water erosion will be there. And if dry land is there, like ये जो हिमालयस के साइड में, अरावली के साइड में जो माउंटेन्स बनते हैं, अगर उस टाइप का जो अरावली माउंटेन्स जो है, if इस एरिया का जो माउंटेन्स है, those area will have to face winds rather than rainfall, because those areas are the drier one, है ना. So there the process which are operating is the wind, and the winds are blowing, isn't it? And third thing which we can say कि उसका stage, on which stage it is there, because what we say, because if any mountain is on youthful stage or any mountain is on old stage, it depends कि कौन से time पे होता है. Like what happens कि this mountain is there and river is working, this river will smoothen the edges of this mountain and later on this mountain will turn into the plain, है ना, ये जो mountain है ये plain में convert हो जाएगा. So the forces are working still, but Himalayas has not converted into the plain. It will take time. It will turn from young stage to the older or mature stage, or mature to the older stage, then only it will be converted into the plains. So it depends on which stage it is there. Despite all the factors which are responsible are playing the role, but it will take time कि इसका formation या उसका जो modification है उसमें change होने में, that will take time. So India can be divided into multiple physiographic divisions. The northern and northeastern mountains, like Himalayas mountains, the northern plains, the Indo-Gangetic plain and the Brahmaputra plain, the peninsular plateau, the peninsular part of India, the Indian desert part, coastal plains and islands. You can see this Himalayan range, this one, the Purvanchal hills, those will come under the northern and northeastern mountain. This one will come under the northern plains, including this one. Peninsular plateau, this one will be there. The coastal plains will be this bluish portion. The coastal plains will be there. Thar desert will be included in the Indian desert, and the island portion, this island and this island. So in this way, total 6 physiographic divisions we can see. So we will see into the details of each of the physiographic divisions. First, we will try to understand the north and northeastern mountain. The north and northeastern mountain, you can see, it works as the climatic barrier also, and it works as the political barrier for the India and Indian subcontinent. ठीक है ना? So it provides a cultural cohesiveness where the unique culture can be adopted, है ना, due to this barrier which has been formed by this Himalayas. And as we know, Himalayas has been subdivided into 3 parallel ranges: the Greater Himalayas, this one, the Lesser Himalayas, this one, and the Shiwalik range. 3 major parallel horizontal divisions are there. I am saying horizontal divisions are there. These 3 ranges are parallel: Greater, Lesser and Shiwalik, which is also called Outer Himalayas. Greater Himalayas are having the length of the 2500 km and its width is 160 to 400 km. Greater Himalayas really actually provides the climatic barrier, because Greater Himalayas are having the huge height, which most of the peaks which are there in the Greater Himalayas only. So on the basis of the relief alignment of ranges and geomorphological features, the Himalayas can be divided into the subdivisions. If we will try to divide this Himalayas on vertical basis, then we can say it can be categorized into the Kashmir Himalayas. Then second one is Himachal Himalayas. Third one here we can say is the Darjeeling or Sikkim Himalayas. Fourth one we can say is the Arunachal Himalayas, and fifth one, the last one, we can say the Eastern Himalayas, है ना, जो कि नीचे तक अपना जाएगा, that is Eastern Himalayas. So in this way you can have the divisions of this Himalayas. The middle one, this one I am leaving apart because it comes under the Nepal, है ना. So in this way you can have the divisions. Here you can say which Himalaya is there. Here Kashmir Himalayas there, here Himachal Himalayas there, here Nepal Himalayas there, and here also you can have one divisions. Here Darjeeling, here this one. Here Darjeeling and Sikkim Himalayas can be there, and after Bhutan and this up till this Namcha Barwa, we can say this area tak jo mountain hai, that is Arunachal Himalayas. So let's see one by one everything. The Kashmir Himalayas. The Kashmir Himalayas comprises of the Karakoram, Ladakh and Zanskar range along with the Pir Panjal also. From north to south, Karakoram, Ladakh and Zanskar range is there. And if you want to remember from north to south, this is like that only, and it is also alphabetically true. Between this Greater Himalaya and Pir Panjal, there is a Kashmir Valley. The Kashmir Valley is there where Jhelum river is having its origin. This Jhelum river, you can see, it is also having border with India and Pakistan. ठीक है. This Kashmir Valley is having Kareva formation. The Kareva formation you can see in this box. It is the glacial clay and the materials embedded with the moraines. Because of the deposition which has been brought by the glaciers, those formation of the Karevas are there. Karevas are important for the cultivation of the saffron, that is the local variety of the saffron. Kashmir is known for the saffron cultivation. On Greater Himalaya itself, you can see the Zojila Pass is there, and on Pir Panjal you can say Banihal Pass is there. So Panjal and Banihal, in this way you can remember. We are also having a tunnel which are connecting Jammu to Kashmir through this pass only, which now we are trying to have all weather roads there. Also certain other passes are there. Fotula on the Zaskar, Khardungla on the Ladakh range is there. So Khardungla को याद रखना है तो K and L, okay, इससे you can remember. ठीक है. तो small water lakes are also there. We cannot say small, means it's a big water lakes are there. Like Dal Lake is there on this this Kashmir Valley itself. Wular Lake is also there. Along with that, Pengong So and So Miriri. You might be knowing the Ramsar sites. So we are having many Ramsar sites on Jammu Kashmir. ठीक है. Jhelum, which is also tributary of Indus River. Along with that, other rivers are also flowing, which are the tributary of Indus, like Chenab River. Those are also there, and certain pilgrimage center is also there, like Vaishno Devi, Amarnath, Charari Sharif. Those are things also available, also there. So this area also provides us the saffron and certain variety of the shawls, like Pashmina shawls. Also, due to the tourism sector, this area is quite important. ठीक है ना. Srinagar, which is the capital of Jammu and Kashmir, is located on the Jhelum River itself. Dal Lake in the Srinagar presents its interesting physical feature. As I had told you, कि for the scenic beauty, for the tourism, it is having the huge potential. है ना. We say it is heaven on the earth, isn't it? So you can see here, you can see multiple rivers which are there. Indus River का जो tributary Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Satluj, Byas river is there. The southern part of this region is having the valleys, like wherever the one range of the Himalayas is there, then it is separated by valleys. If another range is there, then again it is separated by valleys. So what happens, in middle part there is a valley and three ranges, parallel ranges are there. ठीक है ना. उसके बीच में there is a valley. ठीक है. So the valley which is there between the lesser Himalaya and Shiwalik is called this dunes. ठीक है. Those are called dunes. Himachal and Uttarakhand Himalayas. It is starting from Ravi river to the Kali river. है ना. Kali river, which is having the boundary between India and Nepal, and this Ravi river you might be knowing. अभी तक दिखा दिया मैंने. This you can say this Ravi river. So from Ravi river till this Kali river, here the Kali river is there. The division है, those will be called Himachal and Uttarakhand Himalayas. It is being drained by Ravi, Byas, Satluj river, along with that certain tributaries of the Ganga, Yamuna and Ghagra. Fine. So those areas are having very rich resources of the water, or we can say rivers, isn't it? Here itself the important hill stations are there: Dharamshala, Mussoorie, Shimla, Kausani, Almora, Lansdowne, Ranikhet. So these are the important hill stations which has been developed by the British colonial administration. And also on the southern area, southern part, means beyond lesser Himalayas, you can find certain dunes. The formation of the dunes are very natural there because of the longitudinal valleys which are there. The many dunes like Chandigarh, Kalka Dune, Nalgarh Dune, Dehradun. Among those, the Dehradun is the largest one. It is having around length of the 35 to 45 kilometer and the width of the 22 to 25 kilometer. We will see in the mains class how those dunes have been formed. This area is also known for this nomadic groups, that is Bhugyals. ठीक है ना. This is also natural world, UNESCO World Natural Heritage Site, like Valley of the Flower. It is known for Nanda Devi and Valley of Flowers. Also the important dhams are there. Here Badrinath, Kedarnath Dham is there, along with that Gangotri and Yamunotri is there. This region is also having many prayags, 5 prayags are Karna Prayag, Rudra Prayag, Dev Prayag, this kind of the prayags are there, where the confluence of many rivers are there. Before origination of the Ganga, the Alaknanda and Bhagirathi comes through the multiple prayags. ठीक है ना? So this is the part. This part is important for the tourism purpose. Darjeeling and Sikkim Himalayas, again this is also important for the tourism purpose, but here certain differences are there. Like on the western part of the Himalayas, we can see the clear divisions. Like on this Kumaon, or we can say Uttarakhand, or जो Himalayas है ना, Uttarakhand and Himachal Himalayas, there you can find distinct ranges of the Himalayas. Means all the 3 ranges are distinctly visible. But here in Darjeeling Himalayas, at this place after Nepal Himalayas, you will not be able to identify the differences. That's why those areas are called duars. You can see duar, formation of duars, because we cannot find Shiwaliks here. Means because they are clubbed together. All the 3 ranges are almost clubbed together. ठीक है ना? This area is known for the tea plantation. Britishers has introduced tea plantation. Also, we are having the Darjeeling and Sikkim as the hill station, which is also called hill station also, है ना? Because यहाँ पे infection होने के chances on those area was quite less. Kanchenjunga, the 3rd tallest peak of the Himalayas, is also present here. Here Lepcha tribes are present. Means you can see the Lepcha tribes, and many tribes also are available there. Those who belong to those area only. Fine. So here certain development of the tea gardens which you can see, and those are providing us an upper edge as compared to the world for the production of the teas. ठीक है ना? And also biodiversity, it is quite rich. Red panda is available here at this place. So this kind of the animals and species which are normally found on the higher latitude, those are found here itself at subtropical area and tropical area only. Arunachal Himalayas, है ना? It is starting from Bhutan, ठीक है ना? Bhutan से start होके it is ending with the Difu Pass, Difu, है ना? And roughly it is near to the Namcha Barwa, because at Namcha Barwa, as normally we say, the extension of the Himalaya is from the Nanga Parvat to the Namcha Parvat, and from here the Brahmaputra takes U-turn. इस तरीके से Brahmaputra takes U-turn. So this extension means this area where we are also calling the deep gorge is there. From there river enters, the Brahmaputra enters to India's territory, and it flows from the very deep slope, we can say very steep slope. Fast flowing river is here at this place, and as it is flowing from the gorge, so once its mouth is open, it is carrying very large amount of the water. ठीक है ना? So here certain rivers are there like Keming, Sankosh, and Subhansri, Dhansri, Dihang, this Lohit. These are the tributaries of the Brahmaputra. UPSC has asked 2 times continuously for the tributaries related to this Brahmaputra rivers, है ना? So you should be knowing the small tributaries. Even Manas is also one of the tributary. Manas National Park you might be knowing. So as I had told you ki these rivers are flowing from very steep height, so that's why it has the potential with the hydroelectric power plant. But problem is that we will have to take care with the China and also the Bhutan and Nepal. So mainly the Bhutan and China we can say, because they don't allow us to create the barriers for the development of the hydroelectric power plant. So it is very difficult, because we'll have to have the diplomatic tie-ups with the other countries in those conditions. Some of the prominent tribes which are there are the Monpa, Dapla, Abor. These are also tribes, and these are also mountains. ठीक है ना? Mishmi, Nishi, Nagas, these are also mountains, and these are also tribes. So these northeastern tribes are known for the slash and burn cultivation, that is also called jhum cultivation. What they do, they slash down the trees and then they burn the trees. Then they do agriculture there. Then after that they will leave that place. Again they will cut the trees. So that's why it is hurtful for the biodiversity. those indigenous community are doing this such kind of the practices. That's why we can say the frequency of the forest fire is more there on the northeastern region, while the expansion of the forest fire is more on the middle part of the country, means like Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, on those areas. Eastern hills and mountains. Those Himalayas mountains which are on the northeastern or eastern side, those will be categorized under eastern hills, like this Patkai Boom, Naga Hills, Manipur Hills. Here you can see these hills. Means the area, the hills which are available here, those will be come under the eastern hills and the mountains. Okay? So those are different from this Himalayas. Reason is that because the alignment, we can say alignment is different, because as we can say this one is northeast and this one is southwest, isn't it? Because it is west, it is south. So its alignment is from northeast direction to the southwest direction, isn't it? Here you can see Garo Hills, Khasi Hills, Jaintia Hills. Here also this Bareil range is there. Here itself the Karbi Anglong plateau is there. Okay? Here also the way northeastern tribes are doing the cultivation in the same way. Jhum cultivation is also practiced here by the Mizo tribes which are available, and as I have told you, the Mizo and Lushai hills, means it is also name of the hills also. Here Barak river, one of the Barak river is flowing on this Manipur area and Mizoram area. One of the question had been asked in UPSC examination about Barak river, where it flows. Okay, na? Mizo Manipur hills is also known for this Loktak lake. Loktak lake is also Ramsar site, and also this World Heritage site is there because of its unique floating vegetation which are there, which is also called Fumri. Okay. So this Mizoram is also known for the molasses basin, which is made up of the soft unconsolidated deposits. The deposits are there which is due to the rivers and its tributaries, but those are unconsolidated, means they have not settled down yet. Some of the rivers which are there in the Nagaland is the tributary of the Brahmaputra. Two rivers of the Mizoram and Manipur are the tributaries of the Barak river, and they are ultimately the tributary of the Meghna. You might be knowing Meghna rivers, isn't it, in Bangladesh? Okay, na? And one of the river which is contributing its water to Chinwin, and this Chinwin is ultimately the tributary of this Irrawaddy. So if question will be asked whether we are having any tributary of Irrawaddy river, then we can say yes, it is the northern plains. Northern plains are formed by the alluvial deposits of the rivers, and which are these rivers are there? Ganga and Brahmaputra. Roughly 3200 extension is there from east to west. Northern plains are known for their geosyncline, we can say, where the depositions are there. It is having the variation of the 150 to 300 kilometer, that is the width, and the depth is 1 kilometer to 2 kilometer. We have already known. It is categorized under three major zones, that is Bhabar, Tarai region and alluvial region. What is Bhabar? Bhabar regions you might be knowing. Bhabar, wherever the river is flowing, like this is the Shiwalik Himalayas, and from here there, if river is flowing, just a minute, let me take blue one. Yes, from here if river is flowing, the first time once it will reach to the sea level, or it will reach to the plain area, there many boulders and pebbles will be there. So here this river will disappear. Why? Because it is flowing from beneath the rocks and pebbles which are there. So those rocks, the bigger boulders are called this Bhabar. You can see this picture. This one is Shiwalik mountain. From there onwards, from the valley, a river is flowing, and here at very foothill of the Himalayas, bigger boulders and pebbles will be there, stones will be there. Here river will disappear because of its nature, because river will flow from beneath the surface of the earth, we can say, and also beneath the boulders. So that's why river will disappear here. Then again it will re-emerge at this place which is called Tarai region, as from its name itself, the area which is drenched by water, the Tarai region. Here also certain coarse sediments of the soils of alluvial soils are brought, and the sediments are being brought, but these will be finer as compared to this Bhabar. So Bhabar and Tarai division is there from upstream to the downstream. Once it is reaching to the surface, once it is reaching to the plain area, you can see there is a new alluvial soil which has been brought by this river, which is very near to the channel of the river, which is very near to the channel of the river. You can find this khadar. This is fresh alluvial soil which has been brought. So what is bhangar? What is bhangar? Suppose earlier the course of the river was like this, and sediments, the khadar kind of the soil has been brought here, but now the river has changed its course, and because of that this khadar means this alluvial soil has turned older and no new replacement is there, but it is still alluvial soil. So old alluvial soil is called bhangar, and new alluvial soil which is near to the course of the river is khadar. Even this khadar can also turn into the bhangar later on if river will change its course from here, suppose, isn't it? So you can understand the Bhabar, difference between Bhabar, Tarai and this alluvial plain. Alluvial plain can be divided into bhangar and khadar. Fine. So here the same thing is written there. Yes. So India का जो ब्रह्मपुत्र and Ganga creates one of the largest delta of the world. Here itself the Sundarban delta is there. So height from the sea level, it will not be more, reason because it is very near to the ocean, and we also call where Ganga meets to the Sagar, the ocean, that is called Ganga Sagar. Haryana and Delhi creates a water divide between Indus river system and Ganga river system. Indus river system is flowing like this and Ganga river system is flowing like this. At this place, which is Delhi region is there, and here Haryana is there, those areas is creating the water divide between the river tributaries of the rivers of the Indus river and this Gangetic rivers. Brahmaputra river, you might be knowing, it is coming from the Namcha Barwa, isn't it? On the southwest direction we can say it is moving. These plains are important for the cultivation of the crops, particularly wheat, rice, sugarcane, jute. These are very important crops for us, and which makes us that we are the one of the top most cereal production. This makes us to the rank of the largest producer of the cereal crops in the world, isn't it? One of the largest producers, we can say. Peninsular plateau. Peninsular plateau is hardly having elevation of 600 to 900 meter, but it is not near to the sea level. You can see, like plain was roughly around 150 meter, but this was roughly around 600 to 900 meter. From the northwestern side, it is starting from Delhi Ridge on the northwestern side. On northeastern side, it is on Rajmahal Hills. On western side, it is Gir Range. On the southern side, it is Cardamom Hills. And on southern side Cardamom Hills and Annamalai Hills, those are there. On the offshoot portion, which we can see in the Shillong Plateau and Karbi Anglong Plateau is there. So these are creating the Peninsular Plateau. This Peninsular Plateau was more or less stable, except certain Bhima fault is there. One only, the river along the course of the Bhima river, the fault is there. Otherwise, it is normally stable. And the Peninsular Plateau is rich in the minerals. The Peninsular Plateau has surfaced multiple emergence and submergence, particularly on the western coast. It has seen the submergence, as we can say कि जो Dwarka regions was there, that was submerged. The eastern part is immersed. The eastern coast, the Odisha coast, those areas have been immersed. The northwestern part of the plateau has a complex relief. Ravines and gorges are there. The Chambal river, particularly the tributaries of the Yamuna river, is having huge ravines. So even the Bhind and Morena area of the MP is known for those kind of the ravines. This peninsular plateau can be subdivided into Deccan Plateau, Central Highlands and Northeastern Plateau. The Deccan Plateau, as we know, it is made up of the lava, and the Deccan Plateau has its extension from the Western Ghat on the western side, Eastern Ghat in the eastern side, Satpura mountain on the northern side, and Mahadev hills in the north side. You can see this second one, this portion. On the northern area, you can see Vindhyas Satpura hills are there, and the east side Western Ghats are there. On this side, eastern side, you can see certain small hills and mountains are there. On this side, Mahadev hills are there. Its average elevation is 1500 meter, and its highest peak is 2695 meter. Means it is the highest peak of the whole of the peninsula. ठीक है ना? And this region is also having the Nilgiri hills, and Nilgiri hills is also having one of the top peak, that is Doda Beta. The Western Ghat is enriched by this biodiversity, huge biodiversity, rich places there. This area, this Deccan area, is also the source of the regions of the Mahanadi river, Godavari river, Krishna Kaveri river. These are the rivers which are quite important rivers. On the eastern side, you can see Javadi hills, Palkonda hills. We have already seen those things. So you can see the second part, the Deccan hills, has its importance because it is rich in the resources also, it is rich in the biodiversity also. The Central Highland, the first one, this one, the Central Highland, what is the importance of this Central Highland? You can see they are bounded by the Aravalli on the western side. Means you can see यहाँ पे this area पे this is bounded by this Aravalli. On southern side, means on the southern side it is bounded by Satpura range. ठीक है ना? It is having elevation of 600 to 900 meter roughly. Its extension reaches to the Jaisalmer, means near to the Rajasthan it is approaching, on the western portion of the Rajasthan, we can say. Where we can see the sand dunes, which is also called the Bachans. At certain places of this Central Highland, the height is 700 to 1000 meter. That's why many small river streams are flowing, which are the tributaries of this Yamuna. Even we can say most of the rivers which are flowing, which are emerging from this area, are the tributaries of Yamuna, except one river, that is Banas river, which is being originated from the Aravalli region. ठीक है ना? So most of the rivers are originating from Central Highlands, which are the tributary of Yamuna. And eastern extension of this, the same Central Highland, is the Rajmahal Hills here, जो इसका most extension है. On the eastern side itself, the Chota Nagpur Plateau is there, which is rich in the mineral resources. So you can see the location of the Central Himalayas. Central, we have seen this first one. As I had told you, at this place Rajmahal Hills is there. So in this way you can say. The third one, the northeastern plateau, it is rich in the mineral resources. Back to back three plateaus are there: Hazaribagh Plateau, Chota Nagpur Plateau and Ranchi Plateau. Back to back north to south three plateaus are there, and these plateaus are having the iron capping. These are divided by the Malda fault. The easternmost extension of this one is Rajmahal Hills, and once it has been divided, the offshoot portion is called Meghalaya and Karbi Anglong Hills. Meghalaya Plateau itself can be divided into three parts: Garo, Khasi and Jaintia. You can see this picture. You can see here Garo Hills, Khasi Hills and Jaintia Hills is there. Here in Khasi Hills itself, the Cherrapunji river, Cherrapunji place is there, which is the wettest place of the earth is there. And here Anglong, जो हम लोग बोल रहे थे ना, Anglong, Karbi Anglong, that area is there, the plateau is there. So that is the part of the peninsular plateau. Fine. Okay. Chota Nagpur Plateau and Meghalaya Plateau is also rich in the mineral resources like coal, iron, selenite, this limestones and uranium also. Meghalaya is also good for the tourism at the monsoon season, because they want to see the experience the wettest place on the earth. But because of the heavy erosion due to the fluvial water, these rocks are bare in nature. That's why the vegetation is not permanent, because soil cover is quite less. Indian desert. Indian desert, it's the unique place in India. Like, India is endowed by lofty mountains, glaciers, plains, and also the deserts. Here I have told you the Barchans, जो longitudinal dunes को we are calling Barchans. Here rainfall is less than 15 centimeter. Somewhere it is less than 25 centimeter. It is also known as Marusthali because it is low in vegetation cover. Indian desert is also having importance because it is the zone of the copper mine. Once upon a time, this was around Mesozoic era. It was under the sea, and we can see the fossil fuels on the fossil park of the Akal and marine deposits which are there on this Brahmasar, even on the Jaisalmer also, which is very near to this place. So you can see those sands are the depositions of the rivers itself, because it was the below the ocean, isn't it? Here weathering is because of the wind action, because rainfall is quite less. That's why mushroom kind of the shape of the rocks are there. The northern part is sloping towards the Sindh and towards the run of Kutch, and most of the regions are on this rivers. Most of the rivers which are there on these regions are ephemeral. So northern part of this desert is having slope towards the Indus River, and southern part is towards the Kutch region. The southern part is towards the Kutch region, the run of Kutch. Rivers are ephemeral. Some of the rivers are disappearing before it is draining to the ocean. So that's why small lakes are being formed, because it is inland drainage systems are being formed. Those lakes are called playa, because those lakes are being formed because of the rivers which are not able to approach to the Bay of Bengal or Arabian Sea or any other Indian Ocean, we can say. So that's why these are called inland drainage system. Next one is the coastal plains. The plains which are there on the coastal region, one plain is there on the western part and another plain is there on the eastern part. As I had told you, western part is known for the submerged coastal plain. That's why Dwarka was once upon a time, it was the mainland of India. It is very narrow belt. It is because of its genesis, it is providing a unique natural conditions where the ports can be developed. That's why many kind of the ports, Kandla, Mazgaon, Jawaharlal Nehru, Nhava Sheva, Marmagaon, Mangalore, Cochin, these ports are there because the western coast has been submerged. While on eastern side, as it is immersed, so you will not be able to find the natural harbors which are there. While on the western side, the natural harbors are there. So if someone will ask you the question, you can justify the answer. So western plains are narrow in the middle, and on the northern side and southern side it is wider. The Malabar coast जो है, that contains kayals, the backwaters. Means like on the western side, many backwaters are there. Rivers, means ocean is approaching towards land. So that's why many cracks are there. The backwaters are called kayals there. On those backwaters, we can experience the Nehru Trophy, which is very famous place or very famous boat race game, which is there on this Kayal only, which is there on the Kerala. Eastern part of the coastal plain is the example of the emergent coast, and here the natural harbors are less. Another important part of India's territory is the islands. We have Bay of Bengal and Lakshadweep Islands. The Bay of Bengal is having 572 islands, which is spreading from 6 degree north to the 14 degree north latitude, while on the longitude 92 to the 94 degree. It is mainly divided by 10 degree channel. You can see this. It is mainly divided by 10 degree channel. ऊपर में अंडमान है, on southern side this is Nicobar Islands. Only one island here in the barren island, यहाँ पे एक barren island है. This is volcanic, means active volcanoes is there. This is having evergreen forest also and the corals deposits also. So it is very beneficial for our tourism purpose as well as the security purpose. The Nicobar, very less amount of the islands of the Nicobar is habitable, means the inhospitable tribes are there. So normally that's why the tourism is also not very much fruitful at that place. There is a submarine mountains का जो peak है, those things which we can see in the form of islands. Also we have certain small peaks which are there, like this Saddle Peak is the highest place of this Andaman and Nicobar. Lakshadweep is also an important island. It is coral island, 8 to 12 degree north latitude and 71 to 74 degree longitude. It is having the position. It is consists of the 36 islands, and Minicoy is the largest island, which is separated by this mainland of this Lakshadweep by 9 degree channel. You can see 9 degree channel here. Minicoy island is there. Here Amindavi and this Lakshadweep islands are there. Group of islands are there. ये जो केरला से ज़्यादा दूर नहीं है, roughly 280 to 480 kilometer is there. It is very beautiful place, even more beautiful than Mauritius and this area जो Maldives का area है, those area. So we have seen all the important features of the India's territory. So by this time you should be knowing that what are the important features which are available. Broadly you should be knowing, है ना, for the NCERT. For the deeper part we will be covering in the mains part itself, but this chapter is quite important to understand completely the physical part of the Indian geography. Fine, चलो ठीक है, bye bye, take care.